R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning to you.
Top of the morning to all.
This is R&R in the morning, a Tuesday edition. And when you dial in on Tuesdays, you expect the best. We bring it to you. His name is Clarence Hill Jr. He writes for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and he is here now. Morning, sir. How's your Tuesday?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We're good, you know.
Life is good, man. 38 points. We're giving up 3.
Y'all happy now? Y'all happy?
No, you know, it's you know how this business works, Clarence. It's better when they lose for business.
True that.
Now you're happy. You're happy. You got nothing to complain about. You still complaining?
Now,
we got plenty of reason to complain.
I got a question for you. So do you wear your Dak cape from Sunday to Tuesday? When do you take off the Dak cape?
Wow.
I'm just asking.
Wow.
I don't know. Do you, like, Wednesday through Saturday, do you take it off?
I want my keep it real cape. That's what I keep it real.
No, hey.
I keep it real cape. Keep it real. Keep it real about Dak. That's what I keep it real about Dak cape.
No, I know I'm messing with you. So it's a big week, or is it, Clarence? You know, we asked Todd about this. I don't know how to take it because it is October. And to me, Clarence, it's like a good drive in golf. Like, you can hit a great drive this week, right down the middle, but you got to hit it again. You got to hit it again. They still got 12 games after this one. So I don't know how to feel about this game.
Well, I tell you what, all you can do is worry about this week's game.
Right.
You can't worry about it down the road. You know, it kills me about Cowboys fans, you know, and, you know, they can't enjoy 38-3. And, you know, I got many on like I was chastised men like, can y'all in the red zone? We got to do this. Can y'all enjoy 38-3? You know, can you enjoy it? Okay, so we'll worry about the red zone and worry about what happens in the playoffs when that time comes. But enjoy 33 right now. Enjoy the showdown of the year. I mean, for a Cowboys fan, for the team, and that's what the team talked about, they have a bitter taste in their mouth regarding the 49ers because of how they lost the playoffs the last 2 years. And so they got a bitter taste in their mouth of how they play. And they know that if they want to realize their dream, this is a hurdle that they must get over. You know, they must get over this hurdle. They must get over this in mind. And certainly if they win, you know, you still got to do it again in the playoffs. But right now, based on everything they've done in the offseason, remember when they lost to the 49ers last year, they fired 7-8 coaches. Mike McCarthy fired Kellen Moore, became his own offensive coordinator. They ushered a lot of changes. You know, now is the time to see if those changes will work. Are you going down the right path? Get over the 49ers hurdle. That's the mindset of the team.
That's the key, right? That's Clarence Hill Jr. with Fort Worth Star-Telegram. And we've been talking about what's the appropriate level of importance that you should put on this game, because it is early in the season. But my goodness, I would like to think that it does feel as close to the playoff atmosphere as you can have in week 5. I want them to feel like this is the thing. We got to prove to ourselves that all this effort, and as you just said, all those firings were worth it.
Yeah, it's just, again, several Cowboys yesterday after the game said this is not just another regular
good
season. And I know Mike McCarthy's trying to put the proper balance on it. We talked to him yesterday, and he said, this is October. You know, it's a regular season game. You want to put a proper balance on it, but we know who we're playing. We know what this means, and we know, there's something that you can't control, and certainly, just like the Cowboys were pissed off and upset after the Cardinals game and took it out on the Patriots. There's a motivation that you have to acknowledge going through this game that you got to feed into. And then there's a natural motivation. I mean, Dak Prescott is a guy who has always said the right things and tried to be politically correct in interviews. He let his raw emotion show a couple of times this year, when certain subjects have come up, and taking shots at whether at the media or whatever else. After the game, he tried to say the right thing, about and put this game in proper perspective, how we're moving on, we got to turn the page and all this other stuff. And then somebody asked him about, you know,
You
the
still
business
mad?
last week, you know, and he said you're pissing me off. Now I'm pissed off, and then it just ended the interview, you know, and it's like, you know, this is something he said they think about has been motivating them every day in the offseason since last year. Well, that day is here. The time is now to face that demon.
Hey, Clarence, Micah said something on the edge that I wanted to get your perspective on. He said we have to make Brock Purdy, quote, one-dimensional. Now, from where you're sitting and you've seen them the last two games go up close and personal, how do you make them one-dimensional when I feel like they're a team that can beat you multiple ways?
Yeah.
You know, they are, but we don't know that Brock Purdy, if you're forcing him to throw the ball, if you're forcing him to play from behind and he can't use that running game, he can do that. He hasn't really been asked to do that to a certain extent. So stop the run, get a lead. It's one that's been the formula for the Cowboys. Get a lead and you know, then smother the quarterback. You know, and so if you take that run game away from him and make him have to pass the ball, let's see what happens. You know, and then it's interesting because I've been talking to different people. They say 49ers own the Cowboys. 49ers have been blowing out the Cowboys. Cowboys have not competed. They've been one-score games.
Right.
You know, Brock Purdy scored 19 points last year. It's not like he scored 25 or 30. And there, you know, he hasn't thrown an interception this year, but doesn't mean he hasn't had interception-worthy plays. And he had an interception-worthy play in that game last year that Trevor Diggs dropped. You know, that was, to me, was the difference in the game as much as, you know, Dak Prescott's turnovers. But that's the key. The Cowboys got to turn the ball over. When they win, they turn the ball over. They got to turn the ball over, and they can't have any turnovers. That's going to be the key.
Clarence, I got a couple questions for you. One, did the Cowboys do a good job against the run against New England? Was it a good job, or was it just not? They didn't have time to do it. And
well, I mean,
if they did or didn't, can they stop McCaffrey? I mean, that's a big ask. If we're going to go in and do this, they're going against the best in the business right now.
Well, first of all, stopping McCaffrey, stopping the running game, that's the job every week. I mean, they talked about, they know that. They're embarrassed about what happened in Seattle. I mean, in Arizona. They know teams are going to run at them, whether it's McCaffrey, whether it's going to be the Eagles, whether it's going to whoever they face. That's the formula to beat the Cowboys or try to slow down that pass rush. It's to run them. They did a great job against the Patriots, you know, of stopping the run and then getting the lead and then forcing them to play from behind. That's been their motto. You know, whether it was the Patriots, the Jets have a very good running game who's showed you that against the Chiefs and some other teams. You know, the Cowboys smothered them, you know, and we got to give the Cowboys credit for what they've done to teams that other teams have not been able to do to those teams, and, you know, when they've been at their best. But yeah, McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels, that's a level above, that's a cut above, especially with Shanahan and the way he calls the run game. So yeah, they have to prove it again. They got to prove it every week. But I tell you what, there's one guy I want on the other side facing Shanahan. It's the guy that knows him best. It's Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn talked gleefully about the matchups. Yeah, they got a lot of matchups, but we got some matchup problems too.
You know, that's a great point because I mean, they did Quinn and the defense did hold them to 19 points in their building in the playoffs. So I feel like that's a good point. Now, after the Arizona game, Clarence, Mike McCarthy admitted that, you know, they only did the 1 7-step drop and he felt like he should have been more aggressive on first and second. Playing a defense as good as San Francisco, do you feel like this will be a game where he gets aggressive, or will they? And again, I don't know what the right word is to talk about when we talk about Dak as far as how McCarthy's handling him, but will this be the game where he's like, all right, go do your thing, dog? Like,
first of all, I'm putting my cape on. I don't even like
okay, put your cape on.
You got me caping. What do you mean how he's handling? You act like Dak has played bad.
No, he don't.
I mean, that's crazy to me. That whole notion of how he's handling him, he gonna listen. What are you talking about?
Clarence,
I mean, what are we? Did you see Dak's stats? Did you see where the Cowboys have run up and down the field on teams that are very good? I mean, it's funny. I was watching First Take, and I posted a video of Dan Orlovsky talking about the Chiefs, and I'm going to give them credit for scoring 23 points against the
Jets.
I'm sorry, against the Jets defense. 23 points at 2 turnovers. We're going to give them credit because that's a very good Jets defense. The Cowboys ran up and down the field on the Jets team and scored 30 points, and we're blaming, oh, they're not letting Dak lose. They're only scoring field goals. They're not. I mean, it's crazy to me. They look at the yardage in both games. Just like same thing with the Patriots. The Eagles scored 25 points against that Patriots defense.
But
look at the numbers of the yards
Clarence,
the Eagles have.
hold on, no,
Let me
Clarence.
finish now. No. But this whole notion that he's gonna finally take the reins off of Dak because he's been holding Dak back and measuring Dak. That was the gist of what you just asked me, and I would say that as Mike McCarthy said all season, he's gonna do what it takes to win the game. He's gonna play to win the game. They're gonna run the offense that they need to do to win the game. Will they? They're gonna try to get Brandon Cooks more involved. They're gonna do some things to take some more shots down the field. But your tight end's got to catch the ball in the end zone, the red zone.
True.
You got to make the plays that's there. But Dak is efficient Sunday as any quarterback in the league.
But Clarence, we play sound all week long, and these are all questions that you and Todd are asking, and John Machota. And the thing is, I've heard
if he's taking the reins off of Dak.
I've heard Jerry say that yes, some of the play calling that we're doing is, limited Dak. We've heard Mike McCarthy use the manage word 3-4 times within the last week, Clarence.
I don't think Mike McCarthy talked about managing Dak. I mean, you're making it personal when you say. Now, let me. I'm just going. We got to address your word. Words matter. You say matter, okay? And it's important because you're sending a message, a narrative, and somehow they got kid gloves on Dak, and that's not true. That's the offense. That's the West Coast offense. They are throwing. They're getting the ball out quick, depending on the play, the way the defense. They are throwing the ball. Trying to get the ball in their hands. The wide receivers so they can make run after catch. That's part of the offense. But when they need to go downfield, they will. I don't think it's an issue of them putting the kid gloves on Dak. But what's also true that people don't talk about is we're 4 weeks into the season of a new offense. They're going to get better. They're going to do more things. And certainly in a couple of games, the Giants game, that was a driving range to them. The Jets game, he talked about, we're not going to take a lot of chances because there's no way they can beat us if we don't turn the ball over because they're often they suck that bad. I mean, those are things that Mike McCarthy has also talked about. But this is not a situation where it's like we got the training wheels on Dak because we don't want him to throw the ball, interceptions. That's the vibe you're giving, and I'm telling you, that's not the right vibe.
You know what? Okay, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I'm enjoying this. My takeaway here is the Dakites are salty. Dakites are salty. Dak's salty. Everybody's salty. Enough about Dak. They're you know what I mean? And rightfully so. I'm glad there's some backbone there. I want to talk about Micah and the broadest scope of the word. As we've seen this defense offer, 2 of the 4 games legendary. We could say 3 legendary type performances. And we watched Mike over the last couple of years kind of run out of gas as the season has gone through. Just the beating that he takes. Has there been any consideration of, you're up 30 points. Maybe Micah shouldn't be in on all those snaps. Are we looking at, I hate to use the term, but load management to kind of protect those legs at all? Has that even been a part of the conversation? Because I saw a tweet of yours late last night, and during the game, my former co-host Jason Minix was willing to offer up his very own ankle to help Micah get better if he was actually hurt. I mean, we do need to be worried about usage, right?
Well, I don't think usage is the issue with Micah this year. Certainly this early in the season. Remember, Micah spent the whole offseason away from the Cowboys to buck up and get stronger to handle this type of load. So they know he's going to play more in than linebacker this year. So he's done something to prepare. That certainly. I don't know if he wore down last year, but certainly the toll it took on his body. Was something that he had to deal with last year. He acknowledged that and certainly tried to address those concerns in the offseason. Regarding my tweet, Micah did tweak a knee in the game, and they took him out for a few plays. And you're talking to Mike McCarthy yesterday. He said he may be limited in practice. But from my understanding, like when my tweet late last night, I talked to the front office executive and said the knee is fine, it's stable. No swelling on Monday. On Monday. so that they're not concerned. There's no long-term issue here. There's no real injury here, and he should be good to go. But I think that's going to be the case with him. But whether it's Michael, T.J. Watt, whatever, you're going to play your guys, and that's part of the game. That's part of football. And unfortunately, no one's going to be 100% at the end of the season.
Guys, talk about how well they've done. We're quick to be critical of them, but just the offensive line. We talked about this at training camp, like the depth. Oh my God, there's no depth. But I mean, everybody that stepped in, they've been fine. They protected Dak well. They've run the ball well. When you spoke about Doge, talk about the backup center, and I know you talked about Zach Martin's quad. Where are they at offensive line wise? When you talk about Mike McCarthy, always talking about continuity. But it seems like they haven't missed a beat.
That's one thing, and people don't give Mike McCarthy and his staff enough credit for the job they've done. They have, since they drafted Tyler Smith last spring, they have not had their offensive line on the field one time. Not one time. Their starting offensive line been on the field, and it was a mess up front all last year. With the different lineups and stuff like that, and it's been that way so far this year. And they haven't had the guys, but they have called plays that are limiting because of that, not because of Dak, because of offensive line. That has affected their play calling because they couldn't trust the blocking. But Chuma Douglas done good. Tyler Smith has done good. Chuma Douglas coming in for Tyler Smith has played well, and Tyler Smith is back, and he's back to being a beast. If you watch that game, that's a very good Patriots front, and Tyler Smith dominated them.
He did. Did
And
Pro Football Focus grade him the #1 guard in the NFL last week? I think they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it, but I know what my eyes saw, and watching the tape saw it, and he is dominant. And there's it's funny because we were talking to Tottenham yesterday, and he kind of let a Freudian slip out. He said that Tyler Smith's going to be a dominant guard in the league for years to come. So I followed up. Yes, I followed up and said, so you see guard is a long time. He said, I misspoke. Dominant offensive lineman. So, and I don't have a problem if they leave him at guard and play him at guard and go draft a left tackle. Because of that, if he's going to be dominant, just let him go.
I like that.
We like good guards. That is Clarence Hill Jr., the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, stopping by for his regular. Make sure you follow him on the X's, reading his stuff on the regular, so you too can be a well-informed Cowboy fan. Hey, Clarence, always a pleasure, man. Take care of yourself this week. We'll talk to you next.
It's Texas OU week, man. Y'all got to pray for me. Y'all got to pray for me because it's going to be a long weekend.
Hey, man. Yeah, let us know how that goes on Tuesday, man. Appreciate you, Clarence.
OU weekend.